Fall. That gentle whisper of the year when the air cools, the days grow shorter, and the garden begins to change its rhythm. For many of us, it's the season when our once-blooming beds start to fade, and we sigh, thinking the show is over. But what if I told you, your garden doesn't have to lose its charm when autumn arrives? Welcome, my dear friends, to Golden Year's Lifestyle Hub, where gardening stays joyful, easy, and full of color, no matter the season or your energy level. Today, we're bringing your garden back to life with low-effort, colorful flowers that thrive in cooler weather. The kind that don't mind a chill in the air, and best of all, they do most of the work for you. Now, here's something exciting. We'll be counting down from number 10 all the way to number 1. And trust me, that top pick? It's pure autumn magic. You'll want to see it bloom for yourself. And don't forget, if you enjoy our little garden chats, go ahead and tap that like button, leave a kind comment, and subscribe. It helps our growing community of Golden Year gardeners keep blooming together. Ready? Let's begin with number 10. 10. Marigolds. Marigolds. Those cheerful bursts of orange and yellow that seem to hold a little piece of the sun in every petal. You know, whenever I see marigolds, I can't help but smile. They've got that warm, golden glow that makes even the dullest garden corner look alive again. The best part? These beauties are tough cookies. They love the sun. In fact, the more sunshine they get, the happier they bloom. And they don't fuss about fancy soil or constant watering either. Just plant them, give them a bit of love, and they'll reward you with a bright, steady show of color right through the cool days of fall. And here's something I absolutely adore about marigolds. They're natural little garden guardians. Their scent keeps away those pesky insects that love to nibble on your plants. My friend Doris swears by them. She says ever since she lined her vegetable patch with marigolds, her tomatoes have been left alone by every bug in the neighborhood. Now, for my fellow gardeners who prefer not to kneel or bend too much, marigolds are your best friend. They thrive beautifully in pots and planters. You can keep them right at waist height on your patio, balcony, or even near your front steps. That way, you can enjoy their bright blooms every morning without straining your back. All right, now that our gardens are looking a bit sunnier already, let's move on to number 9. A flower that adds just the right touch of grace to any autumn garden. 9. Pansies. Oh, pansies. Those charming little flowers with faces that seem to smile right back at you. There's something so comforting about them, isn't there? Like tiny bits of happiness sprinkled across the garden. I always say, if marigolds bring the sunshine, pansies bring the personality. These little darlings are tougher than they look. Don't let their delicate petals fool you. Pansies actually adore cool weather. In fact, they thrive when most summer flowers start to give up. A light chill in the air doesn't scare them one bit. That's why they're perfect for fall gardens. They keep blooming, even when you start reaching for your sweaters. One of my favorite ways to show them off is in window boxes or raised containers. You can mix several colors together, purples, yellows, whites, and it's like painting your garden with joy. My neighbor, Mr. Harold, has his pansies lined up along his kitchen window, and I swear, every time I visit, I find him standing there with his cup of tea, just smiling at them. He says they make his mornings brighter, and I believe him. Here's a gentle tip. Remember to deadhead your pansies. That simply means plucking off the faded blooms. It encourages new ones to pop right back up, keeping your garden in constant bloom. Think of it as giving your flowers a little haircut. They come back even prettier. Now, speaking of beauty that lasts, wait till you see number 8. A flower that brings soft elegance and grace to the crisp days of fall. 8. Asters. Asters, the unsung heroes of late-season color. Just when you think your garden has given its final bow for the year, these lovely blooms come waltzing in, dressed in shades of purple, blue, and pink, as if to say, hold on, we're not done yet. I often think of asters as nature's confetti, tiny bursts of color tossed across your garden when summer decides to call it a day. They add such joy and sparkle. It's almost like your flower beds are throwing their own little end-of-season celebration. And here's the best part. Asters are wonderfully low maintenance. Once they're planted, they ask for very little attention. A good patch of sunlight, a bit of watering when the soil feels dry, and that's about it. They'll reward you with a cheerful carpet of blooms that lasts well into the cooler months. Now, if bending or reaching into deep garden beds isn't quite your thing anymore, I've got a senior-friendly tip for you. Look for the dwarf varieties. They're shorter, easier to reach, and just as dazzling. You can tuck them into containers, raised beds, or even along your walkway for a soft splash of color that meets you right at eye level. Now, for number 7, we're bringing in a flower that smells so good, you might just forget your gardening and start daydreaming instead. 7. Chrysanthemums. Now, what's fall without chrysanthemums? Or as most of us fondly call them, mums? These are the true stars of autumn, bursting with color just when the rest of the garden starts to quiet down. From deep reds and golden yellows to soft pinks and purples, mums bring that festive, cozy feeling that makes fall so special. They're wonderfully easy to grow, truly a plant it and enjoy it kind of flower. Pop them into pots on your porch, line them along your walkway, or cluster a few together near your garden bench. Within days, your space starts looking like a cheerful autumn postcard. Here's a little tip from one gardener to another. Choose hardy garden mums, not the short-lived florist ones you find at the grocery store. Hardy mums come back year after year, braving the cooler months like real champions. And if you really want that festive look, mix your colors. Try golden yellow next to burgundy, or white beside rich orange. My neighbor Betty does that every year, and honestly, her front yard looks like a harvest festival come to life. People stop to take pictures. I'm not kidding. So go ahead, bring in the mums, mix those hues, and let your garden glow with that warm, happy autumn spirit. Next up, number 6, a graceful flower that adds just the right touch of calm and softness to your fall garden. 6. Coneflowers, echinacea. Coneflowers, tall, bold, and full of character. There's something so dignified about the way they stand, like little soldiers proudly guarding the garden. Their bright pinks, purples, and sometimes even soft oranges bring such life to fall landscapes. And the butterflies? Oh, they simply can't resist them. What I love most about coneflowers is how tough they are. These blooms don't mind a bit of neglect. In fact, they seem to thrive on it. Once you plant them, they don't ask for much. A sunny spot, a little water now and then, and that's it. They're drought-tolerant, long-lasting, and perfect for anyone who prefers the plant-it-and-leave-it style of gardening. I have a friend, George, who calls them his set-and-forget flowers. He planted a few along his fence 3 years ago, and, I kid you not, they've been blooming faithfully every year since. He barely lifts a finger, yet his garden looks like something out of a postcard. So if you're looking for a flower that's strong, reliable, and still brings that burst of color and life, coneflowers are your best bet. They'll stand tall through the season and keep your garden buzzing with beauty long after others have gone quiet. Now, let's wander over to number 5, a plant that adds a soft, dreamy charm and practically takes care of itself. 5. Japanese Anemones. Japanese Anemones. Now here's a flower that whispers elegance. With their delicate pink or pure white blooms, they bring height and grace to any garden corner, swaying gently in the autumn breeze. There's something almost magical about seeing them rise above shorter plants, as if they're quietly saying, fall isn't over yet. What makes them perfect for seniors is how low maintenance they are. A sunny spot, a bit of water now and then, and they'll keep blooming late into fall when so many other flowers have already packed up for the season. Japanese anemones are one of those flowers that make a garden feel complete. They're understated yet striking, and they keep the beauty going right when you start thinking, maybe fall is winding down. Next, we're moving to number 4, a cheerful, golden bloom that practically shouts happiness in your garden. 4. Coreopsis. Coreopsis. Now here's a flower that radiates pure cheer. Those bright yellow and orange blooms almost seem to glow, like little suns sprinkled across your garden beds. They're the kind of flowers that make you stop and smile, even on a gray, chilly day. What's wonderful for us seniors is how hardy and low maintenance they are. Coreopsis is compact, easy to reach, and honestly, it practically thrives on neglect, a gardener's dream. Pop a few in raised beds or containers, and they'll reward you with a long-lasting display of color without demanding much effort. So if you're looking for a splash of sunshine that's fuss-free and endlessly cheerful, Coreopsis is a wonderful choice. Next, we're moving to number 3, a flower that feels like autumn's very own velvet, soft and rich in color. 3. Russian Sage. Russian Sage. Now here's a plant that brings elegance and movement to your garden. Its silvery gray foliage provides a soft, calming backdrop, while the delicate lavender blue flowers sway gently in the breeze, almost like they're dancing just for you. One of the best things about Russian sage is how drought-tolerant it is. No constant watering, no daily fussing. It's perfect for seniors who want beauty without the heavy work. Once planted, it keeps growing and adding texture, almost like a living sculpture in your yard. Here's a little bonus tip. Pair Russian sage with bright yellow flowers, like marigolds. The contrast is stunning. The soft silvery tones and the cheerful gold really make each other pop. My friend Roger has this exact design in his backyard, and honestly, it looks like a professional landscape right outside his door. Up next is number 2, a late-blooming, colorful beauty that's practically the crown jewel of any autumn garden. 2. Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller. Now here's a plant that's all about subtle beauty. Its silvery, velvety leaves don't shout for attention, but they make everything around them look brighter and more vibrant. Imagine those rich oranges, deep purples, and sunny yellows of your other flowers. Dusty Miller is like a soft, silver frame that makes them truly shine. Even when the flowers around it fade, Dusty Miller keeps its charm all season long. It's like that dependable friend who always shows up, quietly beautiful and reliable. My neighbor planted a row along her porch last year, and even as the mums and asters started to fade, her garden still looked polished and cheerful. So, when you want a touch of grace and texture that lasts, Dusty Miller is your go-to. And now, friends, we've reached the moment you've been waiting for. Number 1. A true autumn showstopper that will make your garden the envy of everyone on the street. 1. Ornamental Kale and Cabbage. And here we are, the crown jewel of your autumn garden. Ornamental kale and cabbage. If you think kale is just for salads, think again. These leafy beauties bring a dramatic splash of color with rich purples, soft pinks, and creamy whites that practically glow, even as the air turns crisp. The magic of ornamental kale is how well it thrives in cold weather. While many flowers have already bowed out, these plants keep your garden looking vibrant, sometimes even surviving light frosts. They don't bloom in the traditional sense, but who needs flowers when the foliage itself is this stunning? It's like having living artwork right on your porch or patio. Here's a little bonus tip. Pair your ornamental kale with mums for a full, colorful display. The contrast between the soft, structured leaves of the kale and the cheerful blooms of the mums creates a garden that feels alive, festive, and totally magical. So there you have it, 10 easy, senior-friendly plants that will keep your garden glowing all through fall. From the sunny cheer of marigolds to the regal elegance of ornamental kale, each one brings joy, color, and simplicity to your golden year garden. Before we wrap up, let's take a few minutes for some quick, gentle tips to make your gardening even easier. First, refreshing your soil with a bit of compost can do wonders. It gives your flowers extra nutrients, helping them bloom stronger and brighter. Just sprinkle a little around the base, lightly mix it in, and you're good to go. Next, an easy watering trick for those low-energy days. Keep a lightweight hose or a small watering can nearby. You won't have to drag heavy equipment across the yard, and your plants will still get the hydration they need. Simple, stress-free, and perfect for golden year gardeners like us. And remember, gardening isn't about perfection. It's about joy, enjoying the colors, the textures, the smells, and even the little surprises along the way. Laugh at the occasional mishap, take your time, and soak in the peace your garden brings. If you've enjoyed these tips, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps our senior gardening community grow and lets us share even more ideas with fellow golden year friends. Let's quickly revisit our 10 delightful flowers, starting from the cheerful marigolds, the smiling pansies, elegant asters, sunny coreopsis, graceful Japanese anemones, bold coneflowers, festive chrysanthemums, dancing Russian sage, subtle dusty miller, and finally, the show-stopping ornamental kale and cabbage. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below which flower you're planting first. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so other seniors can discover the joy of gardening too. Remember, you don't need a big garden to create beauty. All you need is heart, hope, and a handful of blooms. Until next time, my friends, keep planting joy and savor every colorful moment your garden brings.